Hello everybody, hope you're doing well, having a great day, great night, wherever you guys are. Welcome back to another episode of CSGO News. As always, time markers for every story are down below for all of you. And our first big story today for CSGO News, I want to tell you all about a potential new CSGO knife coming probably not sometime soon, but maybe sometime in the future, known as the Ursus knife. Now, many of you know a long time ago we had a community member known as Wicked Player. I'll link his Twitter down below for all of you. He leaks a lot of updates for all of us, or actually gives us details about updates, all the little details you really don't look into too often. So his Twitter will be down below for all of you. Several months ago, he leaked out this picture in the game files, which gave us several new outlines for new weapons and knives that are not in the game of CSGO as of right now. Several new knives, also the MP5 was in there as an outline. Obviously, we haven't seen the MP5 or a new knife in the new Hydra operation, and that is why going forward, I want you all to know potentially we won't have a new knife, the one I'm leaking right now, or not really leaking, or describing for all of you, probably for at least a few months, especially with the new Hydra operation in case being dropped a couple days ago. We'll probably have to wait quite some time before a new knife is released, but we do have more information about a second part of the operation coming sometime soon as well. But in this actual game file, and thank you to Gabe as well, I'll link his imager down below for all of you guys, we had more game files released about the new type of knife called the Ursus knife. Now this outline was actually found in the files. Now of the outlines, there are at least 3 or 4 new knife outlines in those actual original files. We think it's going to be this one released though, called the Ursus knife, as there was an actual game file even further than this found defining the Ursus outline for the knife. So it does seem going forward, at least sometime soon in the future, we could have a new knife coming to CSGO. Obviously, eventually we probably will, and it will be or potentially be called the Ursus knife. Now again, there are several knife outlines in those files. We think it's going to be one of those knife outlines, but it could certainly be one of the other ones as well. So it does seem sometime in the future Valve has something planned for us. Alongside that though, it could be a second part of the actual Hydra operation. Now in the past, we've had several operations which actually take a lot longer than this one. Now many of you know in the updates we said it was going to be 18 weeks worth of content, but many of you guys have figured out all the Guardian missions in a couple of days. Now I myself, I'm still stuck on the Molotov mission trying to burn 5 bots alive, which really sucks because, you know, 2 of the times I've been very unlucky. I've had 4 of the 5 members dead by Molotov, and I've been on that last person and died, which kind of sucks. But all of you guys in the community have finished most of the operation missions within 1 or 2 days, which is kind of a rarity. In the past, operations usually take a little bit more time, and they've also been time limited. You can only do a number of missions, you know, every single few days or whatever it may be, but this mission was actually different. These Guardian missions were different, which hints at a potential new second part of the actual Operation Hydra, and we did find game files about this as well. These will be linked down below for all of you guys. On top of that, it does seem likely with a new operation we'll have new game modes as well. We have no idea what Valve has planned for us going forward. Now this actually was found in the game files, a new potential game mode called Blood Letter. It's actually sounding really cool. Many of you know the current game mode called Trigger Discipline. Whenever you miss your enemies, you do damage to yourself. It pretty much is now notoriously known as the map or the game mode where you go around and everyone is at 1 HP because you've missed so many of your enemies, and eventually you walk around and you're all just capped at 1 HP, and yeah, it's a one-shot kill. Now that new game mode, this actually takes a twist off that. Again, it's called Blood Letter, where it actually uses the code on screen for all of you. It's kind of cool. It uses vampiric code, which seems every second everyone's going to lose a certain amount of health. As of right now, it seems every second you'll lose about 4 health, which means you have 25 seconds. But on top of that, why it's called vampiric in the code is because every single % of damage you do to your enemies will actually heal you. So every damage you do to your enemies, you'll heal yourself 100% of that damage dealt. So you'll be walking around the map, you'll pretty much have a 25-second lifespan, and you'll have to try and find enemies to shoot them just to heal yourself. So obviously with this game mode, it could have a lot of benefits to using the op or other heavy damage weapons, and there is no actual, you know, there's no penalty for missing your enemies on top of that. So a bit different from Trigger Discipline, and this leaked potential game mode does also hint at a new potential second part of the operation. As I said before, in the past we've had operations and the missions last a lot longer than this one, so it does seem Valve has something in store for us, or at least a lot of us guys hope there's a second part to the Operation Hydra coming sometime soon. So will there be a new knife? Maybe way in the future it'll be called the Ursus knife. Will there be a second part of the operation? We can only hope as of right now. Now on top of those more confusing announcements in our first stories today, I want to talk with all of you about some more definite news. I actually had this in my thumbnail for yesterday's video. I'm an idiot though. I had that in the thumbnail. If you were one of the first viewers on yesterday's video, I forgot to talk about this. That is a potential signing of Fnatic Academy to a new organization. Many of you know PGL actually announced their new ruling on Academy teams not too long ago for this major qualifier in the minors. For Academy teams who are joining their main rosters and trying to qualify for the major. It does seem all they have to do is change their name tag and their logo. Now on top of this, we have 2 Academy teams left in their minors. In the CIS minor, we have Team Spirit alongside their Academy team, both in the minor. Kind of controversial there because, of course, those 2 teams could try and benefit each other. If they ever played each other, they probably would maybe, you know, have enticement to actually throw the game to help whatever roster is doing better. So we have 2 CIS teams with the main roster for Team Spirit, joined by Starix, looking very good, and their Academy roster are both of those final 8 teams. 2 of those final 8 teams will go through the major qualifier. Now on top of that, for the European side of things, the main story here, we do have Fnatic Academy being the other remaining Academy team with a chance to make the major qualifier. Now it is a far and away chance, just for the fact they made the minor itself was kind of a surprise to most people. But in this actual minor, I'll show you guys the 8 teams on screen for all of you. They've been competing quite well against these teams all year, especially in the past 2 weeks. Now this minor will compete, I believe it's going to be June 15th in about 2 weeks time, or a little short of 3 weeks, guys. And they've actually beat teams like LDLC, Kingwin in the past. Both those teams are here. They've also had close games with Team Big and Penta. Both those teams are also in the bracket as well. And of these 8 teams for the European minor, 3 of them will advance. Now, controversial, of course, because Fnatic Academy will be trying to transfer their organization as a part to PGL rules and ESL rules. I kind of like how they're actually aligning with the rule system here. Unlike Team Spirit has no announcement yet, but they will be trying to transfer their Academy roster because many of you guys know Fnatic already has a spot in the next major, so it might be a bit controversial if they did not follow the rules. So as of right now, it does seem Fnatic Academy is trying to follow those rules. No announcements as of right now from Team Spirit. And some very interesting news for all of you I want to talk about. We have Tricked Esports, who is actually apparently releasing their entire CSGO roster. Now, for all of you Hunden fans out there, it does seem Hunden, their current member, or I guess their former member, is actually retiring from the game of CSGO. They released a video about him, the era of Hunden. So I do feel bad for the guy. He is now officially done with CSGO, or so it seems for the time being. Now, the rest of their roster, including one of the youngest players in professional CSGO right now, that is Borup. He is 17 years old. We also have Asilian and Freeze, who joined the team just a few months ago, and also their third member, Tag, or Easy Tag. All 4 of those members will actually be leaving the roster as free agents. So they'll be continuing on, hopefully going to be signed by some other people. They obviously have interest in, a lot of people have interest in these Danish players, especially throughout the DreamHack summer tours so far. They've been doing quite well, and again, Borup only being 17 years old. It's a very talented roster. That's why I'm kind of surprised they are disbanding out of nowhere. They will end their actual contracts with this team, Tricked Esports, I believe late June. I think June 30th, their contracts will be up. Hunden will retire, but the other 4 members will actually go on to be free agents, and there certainly will be interest out there for these members. Now, what seems even peculiar and even more kind of weird about the situation is the fact that Tricked Esports will not be re-signing these 4 members, but they will be re-signing a new academy, a new team roster sometime soon after that. So it's kind of weird how maybe they can't afford these guys. Maybe these guys already have offers. The team already said in their discussion post they do already have offers and been fielding offers from other teams, and maybe they can't afford them or the players just don't want to stay. But yes, Tricked Esports will be disbanding at the end of June. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I think I've actually slowed down my speech. I don't know what it is. I didn't get much sleep, but I think I'm talking a little bit slower today. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you guys think so, if I've been easier to follow today. For all of you guys out there who English is not your primary language, I felt bad. Yesterday I read a comment. Some guy said, "Hey Jake, I'm from Portugal. I love your videos. Could you please slow down because I can't understand what you're saying?" And I felt so bad. Anyway, on to our last stories today for all of you. We do have Mouse Sports signing the 3rd largest contract so far with a sponsor, where they signed with Dr. Pepper. And what's cool about this is they actually have the matching color scheme. I don't know if that was part of the reason why Dr. Pepper targeted these guys, obviously having the same color scheme of their jerseys and whatnot. Mouse Sports signed with Dr. Pepper. Earlier this year, we had Astralis sign with Audi and an SK Gaming sign with Under Armour. Those are now 3 of your largest contracts and sponsors in the esports game right now, and they are all in CSGO, and that is so cool to see. Now, on top of this, I want to leak to you guys a story coming sometime soon about the new Red Reserve roster. Red Reserve roster I talked about to all of you several months ago about Mike Lilly potentially joining them. It fell through. The offers over there fell through, but it does seem Mike Lilly is now standing in for that new Swedish roster. Now, more news about this will come sometime soon. I reached out to their owner about more about this story. He actually commented back to me. I'll share that with you guys tomorrow about Red Reserve and the future of their roster. I told you all about this several weeks ago as well. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Their Brazilian roster has all left. KNG, one of their former members, actually joined Team Immortals, and the rest of the Brazilian guys actually left the Red Reserve roster and went back home, and they currently have no set CSGO roster besides the Swedish guys on screen for all of you. So it does seem going forward we might have a Swedish roster for Red Reserve. Just saying. Just giving you guys hints. CSGO news, it's what I do. As always, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below with a question for my sister. We're doing a Q&A today, I think, and that'll be released next week. I am on vacation starting in 2 days from now. I am so excited. I have a Steam Stories video, a Q&A video, a case opening video. I will keep you guys entertained while I'm on vacation, and honestly, I really wish I wasn't going on vacation because I loved making this video so much. Thank you all for the great support. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys did, please leave a like. It really means a lot to me and pays the bill. Live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you. I will see you guys all tomorrow with one last CSGO news episode before the weekend starts. Let's get into it. Goodbye!